Hey guys, so today I'm going to be giving you instructions on the Key Assessment EDF 204 final project. For this project, the purpose of it is to assess and determine the candidate's ability to use technology across the variety of educational purposes that technology is used by teachers, including instruction, assessment, collaboration, communication, and student engagement. It will be used to monitor candidates' progress by assessing how they use technology in instruction, student engagement, and assessment of student learning, collaboration with colleagues, and communication with parents in the community. So here are the standards as shown, and then below that is information for the candidates. So this EDF 204 final project is a task that is developed over the course of the semester and includes multiple submissions with instructor feedback. The assignment requires candidates to demonstrate an understanding of each type of educational technology usage and corresponding to technology, so websites, programs, and applications. You can use this to meet those purposes. The assignment requires you to critically think about specific technologies, defining the use of that technology in teaching, engagement, assessment, communication, and collaboration. You will analyze current technologies that meet specific educational purposes and demonstrate how these technologies should be implemented in classrooms and learning. The assignment requires candidates to develop a personal statement of teaching for using technology ethically and effectively. Included in this project are categories specific to collaborating with families, working with learners with disabilities, English learners, and learners who are gifted. So below is the rubric, and it's going to explain to you what this project is and what it needs to include in it. So let's take a look at that. So for this project, you're going to be creating a virtual binder using the livebinder.com website. You are required to create a free account and develop a binder titled EDF 204 Final Project. So in this live binder, you're going to need to include these pages. So for the first page, you're going to have a welcome page. And in that welcome page, you're going to have a summary of what you've learned about using technology for teaching, an introduction of yourself, your vision, what you plan to do with technology, how you plan to incorporate technology into your teaching, and a statement of your plan for ethical and legal use of technology for you as a professional and for your classroom of students. You're also going to need to make a sub-page or a sub-tab for this welcome page, and on that sub-tab, you're going to have a link to your teacher webpage. Now, for the teacher webpage, you're going to have to create another free website using Wix or Weebly, which are both free websites that you can use to create your own webpage. And you're going to need to include an introduction of yourself as a teacher, your webpage sum up of your plan for a classroom. So you need to have your plan for using technology, communicating with parents, teaching content, classroom expectations for ethical and legal use of technology in your classroom, and things like that. For the next page, you need to include a teaching page. And in this page, you need to include a text and main page that summarizes how to use technology to develop and implement instructional strategies. So basically what you're teaching. It also needs to include a main page, which addresses using technology during instruction to help all students meet learning objectives, including students with disabilities, students RTI, EL learners, and students who are gifted. They need to include at least 5 subtabs that contain examples of technology, created teaching content from the course modules. So Google Slide, presentation, screencast-o-matic video, like what I'm using right now. And then the 5 subtabs can be uploaded content you created or active links and a description of the purpose of the link. So for every subtab you have, you must have a text description plus the content or the link. For the next page, you're going to need to have a student engagement page. Text in main page summarizes how to use technology to planning and implement instructional activities, student engagement. It must address how the student engagement activities will meet learning objectives for all students, including students with disabilities, students in RTI, English language learners, and students who are gifted. And this one also needs to include at least 5 subtabs, and don't forget to include a description and the purpose of those subtabs. The next page you're going to need to have is an assessment page, and this page is going to include a text and a main page that summarizes what you know about using technology to create formative and summative assessments. The main page needs to discuss making assessments accessible for all students, including students with disabilities, students in RTI, English language learners, and students who are gifted. And again, it needs to have at least 5 subtabs with the description. Then you're going to have a communication page, and in this communication page you're going to have a main page that summarizes what you know about using technology to assess and analyze student progress and communicate student progress to parents, collaborators, and colleagues. It needs to include discussion of ethical and legal requirements and sharing student data. It needs to include options for communicating to key collaborators such as students, parents, administrators, parents, and consultants. Both academic and behavioral learning objectives for all students. And then it also needs to have the 5 subtabs with the description. The classroom management page is the next page you're going to need to have, and again it's going to have a main page that summarizes what you know about it, about technology and how to manage it in the classroom. It needs to include a description that addresses learning objectives for all students, and it needs to have the 5 subtabs with the description. Next, you're going to have the technology page, and it needs to have a main page that summarizes what you know about using technology ethically and effectively for instruction to meet learning objectives for all students. And then it also needs to have the 5 subtabs with the description. Then you're going to have a professional development page, and you're going to have a main page that summarizes how you can use technology to enhance your professional growth. And this text should also include a self-assessment of how you plan to meet your professional teaching organization's expectations for you as a teacher to use technology. Then, of course, you're going to have your 5 subtabs with the description with each. So, the entire binder must include professional language and material. So you need to use standard English and people first language. No inappropriate or incorrect grammar, slang, curse words, non-professional language in reference to students, etc., or inappropriate images. And all your links must be active and work, so if your links do not work, you will lose points for that. So here's the criteria for success. So I'll read this part to you. At this time in your professional education program, you are expected to successfully achieve component level mastery described in the emerging and developing columns. In your continuing professional education courses, you will be expected to achieve mastery in the additional columns. Candidates must score at least 3 rows in the developing column and emerging in all other rows in order to successfully complete this assessment. If the candidate does not score at least an emerging in a row, no score will be listed in that row and it will be returned to the candidate for a redo. So if you don't meet the expected level of performance, you will redo the assignment, which is something that no one really wants to do, which is why it's important to get it right the first time. If 2 redos are submitted and it's scored without passing the score of developing at least 3 rows and emerging in the rest of the rubric, the candidate will work with faculty to develop an individual professional improvement plan and be allowed in 1 additional free submission. Failure in this last submission will result in a failing grade F in the course. So that's why this is very important to make sure that you have all of these pages in it and include all the information that it's asking.